Why not? Going to go to game number 3 here.
No copies of Perforos in this list. Another card and card type in the gods that have taken a lot of splash damage since Dromoka's command became so prevalent in the format.
I think we might, I don't know, I might pull some strings here, see if we can get Bobby on camera next round.
Yeah, it's be quick.
Typically, I let Nick make the decisions here, but
put my feet up for a little bit after that round.
Might have to get a little bit of the old pull here in the booth. Just saying.
We're talking about a 14-minute 3-game match there.
Yep. It's good for coverage too. We can bring another match.
Right.
That's important. Both these players are going to shuffle up, get ready to rock and roll here.
You know what? Bobby is 11-2.
Yep.
He wins one of his next 2 rounds. He's good to go.
Yes, he is.
Possibly can draw in. Don't know where his tiebreakers are at, but he's in a great spot.
Both players are going to take a look at their opening hands. We'll see who's on the play here in just a moment. Been a while since the Mono Red Devotion. I hope that deck maybe makes a little bit of a comeback. I was always a fan of that strategy.
The big problem is that Perforos is just not really a card that you can be playing because of Dromoka's command. Just too much splash damage there.
Not a lot of payoffs for the deck. James going to take a mulligan here. For those of you wondering about a metagame breakdown, 102 players here in day number 2, and at the top of the decks, it's a Tarka Red with 13 copies.
Big surprise.
A little bit surprising to say the least here. You got Abzan Megamorph with 12 copies of that. Mardu Dragons, 9 copies there. Abzan Control, you got 8 copies. Abzan Aggro, 8 copies of that as well. Green Red Devotion and Jeskai Aggro, 6 copies apiece. Green Red Dragons, Mono Red Aggro. Green Black Dragons, 5 copies apiece. We've actually grouped that Mono Red Goblins deck into Mono Red Aggro. So if you're just looking a little more specific, Mono Red Goblins, there's only one of those. That's Bobby Birmingham.
So the Siege Rhino decks here are making up about 30% of the room.
Yes.
If you add up all the shades of Abzan. But the most popular individual deck, a Tarka Red. Pretty surprising.
A little bit.
I don't think we've had it on camera yet.
We haven't, no. Apparently this is James' 6th mulligan this match. He's been keeping track. Gotta let that go, James.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about that.
Not much empathy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just part of the game. What if he took 5 mulligans in one game? We don't even know the real information here.
Right. And also, maybe your deck has something to do with that.
Maybe.
I'm looking at some sketchers, some cards I do not want in my opening hand. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Maybe
not saying this is not an unfortunate set of circumstances for you, James. What I'm saying is that when your deck has, 4 gray merchants in a deck with no black mana symbols, basically, 2 copies of Merciless Executioner, 4 Nyx Weaver, 4 Rally the Ancestors.
Maybe there's some mulligans to be had.
I don't know. You're probably going to have some opening hands that you can't keep, especially against mono red Fnatic and Bogus style decks.
Yes. See if James can find 6 cards he's happy with. He's going to keep. No more mulligans. Dylan will start with a mountain, pass the turn back. Typically, Mono Red Devotion doesn't do very much on turn number 1. Looking to start on turn number 2 with something that has 2 red mana symbols. Temple of Malady is where Buckingham will start. We'll see where that top card does go. It's going to go to the bottom. We'll go to Hysen's turn. Nykthos the draw. Huge draw in his deck. We see a deck like Green Red Devotion where it actually doesn't need Nykthos to operate. I mean, it's certainly nice, but it's not necessary. For Mono Red Devotion, it's a deck that needs Nykthos.
Yeah, there's a couple payouts here, most notably Crater's Claws and Dragon Whisperer. Those are the best things that he has to do for this mana. Both of those are very powerful things to do.
Buckingham going to play a Sandstep Citadel, pass the turn back over to Hysen. Hysen will take a draw step here. I believe a Flamewake Phoenix was the draw, so he'll play that, get in for 2 points in the air. Card that hasn't seen a ton of play just yet.
Nope, but another card that slots in very naturally. 2 red mana symbols. It's not too hard to trigger the rebuy on this thing because you have threats like Thunderbreak Region and Fnatic Amogus and so forth.
Yeah, Ferocious on that card.
Stormbreath Dragon.
In some decks it's hard to accomplish, in others it's not. I think this is one where it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, in Red Beatdown you're sort of looking at Titan Strength or Fire Drinker Satyr. It's a little bit tougher, and the Devotion strategies much more reliable.
And going to the skies is a great place to be in this format. There is Course of Crufix. Take a look at that top card. It's a gray merchant. Hysen will untap and take a draw here. Picked up a copy of Roast. He'll start by playing a Nykthos. Has another copy of Nykthos in hand, mind you. Looks like he'll be casting Rose to take care of that Courser. In for 2 in the air. Buckingham going to go down to 16. That'll be it for Dylan.
Really like that play there from Dylan. There is some incentive to say, well, I'll be mana efficient and play Fnatic this turn. But decks like James typically need coursers to function. When you see Gray Merchant on top of the deck that has very little utility, just go after his sources of card advantage. You can get to Fnatic somewhere down the line. It's actually more powerful that way. And do not let these decks to have an uncontested courser because they need it.
I want to make him earn every piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Because realistically what he's playing is kind of a weird offbeat combo deck.
He's already mulliganed.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't let him recoup the cards.
Temple is where Buckingham will start this turn. We'll see where this card's going to go. Gray Merchant in hand, Commune with the Gods, Arishan Cleric. Among the options here for Buckingham, his hand's always going to look a little weird given what his deck's trying to accomplish. That card's going to stay on top, it appears.
And what's nice about playing the Devotion style decks as opposed to Mono Red Aggro, Arishan Cleric, very challenging for Mono Red Aggro to beat. It's just a lot of value when you're playing with 2/1s and so forth. But, you know, against a deck that can overpower you, fly over the top, it's not really that impactful.
Merciless Executioner will take care of the Flamewake Phoenix. Mountain the draw here for Dylan. Here's Stormbreath Dragon into the red zone. Buckingham going to go down to 12. Might not beat Green Red Dragons, but the card is still very, very effective as Buckingham will take a draw step here.
It's another reasonable mana sink.
Sitter Wayfinder looks like it might be on the way. Could be Commune as well, but it'll be the Wayfinder to start here for Buckingham. Turn over a couple of cards. Siege Rhino's 1, Cleric is 2. Murderous Cut is 3, and Windswept Heath is number 4. So I imagine we'll have the Heath coming in just a moment.
And most of James' resistance appears to be on the ground. You know, he's got these Clerics, he's got Gray Merchant, Sitter Wayfinder. And Dylan so far is ignoring all that. He's exclusively flying. He's got Fnatic of Mogus as a leftover here. And James just might not be able to handle the way that Dylan's attacking him right now.
Windswept Heath had it to the grip. Commune with the Gods in hand at this point. That might be Buckingham's next move here. We'll see. He's certainly underneath some pressure in the air. And you also know that Flamewake Phoenix is coming back next turn.
Yeah, and he does not know this yet, but Fnatic of Mogus is also going to be worked into the picture very soon.
Yep. Here is the Heath. No, I think we'll see the Commune here in just a second. Though Arishan Cleric is a real option at this point. If you're James, you don't actually know if you die this coming turn.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that you're not going to commune and do something to follow up all in the same shot, you might as well cushion your life total a little bit.
That's what he's going to do. Go up to 15 after playing the Arishan Cleric. Looks like Draconic Roar may have been the draw. Some powerful cards going on in this Mono Red Devotion deck. Here's Fnatic. Just going to be for 3. Going to bring Buckingham back down to 12. Now you can trigger, if you'd like, on the Flamewake Phoenix. Looks like Dylan might play another copy of Nykthos here. First one's going to bite the dust. You could also see maybe a card like Draconic Roar this turn. Yep, and there's a dragon on the battlefield already, so kill the Arishan Cleric. Deal 3, and now 4 more, so it's a total of 7, puts you down to 5.
I think that I would have preferred this turn to see simply attack you, get back to Phoenix, play Fnatic post-combat, or leave up the removal spells.
I think I would prefer that as well, just because it's more damage output.
It's more damage output, and the Phoenix is one of those kind of investment plays. You know, you get it back once and then it stays in play. Those spells are one-shot deals. So unless Dylan thought it was especially important to remove the Cleric from the table this turn, which I don't see being the case, and in fact, it's arguably not what you want to be doing because of Rally.
Yep.
I think I would have preferred just to get back the Phoenix and either hold up your spells or cast Fnatic post-combat.
And Buckingham going to sacrifice a Windswept Heath on the end side. He's going to go down to 4. Forest or Plains on the way. He'll give himself a basic Plains. He's in some real trouble right now. Facing down a lot of damage in the air. Mono red player with a good devotion draw.
Not only is it a good devotion draw, but it's one that's just working around James's defense.
Yeah, James' defense, as you mentioned, it's really just all on the ground at this point. Buckingham will draw a card.
You know, he's
Copy
got
of Llanowar Waste.
He's got Grey Merchant in his hand. He's played a Cleric, and all those cards have amounted to are healing salves.
Yeah.
And they have not blocked anything.
And those are expensive healing salves.
And Grey Merchant actually leaves him dead on board, assuming Dylan remembers about the Phoenix in his graveyard.
Yeah, Grey Merchant actually not much of an option at this point. I'm not entirely sure what Buckingham can commune into. That's the other tricky part.
I think Nyx Weaver has reach, right?
I'm going to assume the Spider has reach.
Okay, well, now we're cooking with gas.
That's not great gas. No. No.
Now, James is in the position where he has to decide, is it better for me to play Grey Merchant and hope he forgets about the Phoenix, or commune into something like Nyx Weaver and hope that that yields a win somehow somewhere down the line?
Hope it does something. Here is commune. Nyx Weaver, Satyr Wayfinder, Temple Silence and Hostilities, and Caves of Koilos. Nyx Weaver will be the selection.
Sweet.
Get to choose either a creature or an enchantment card. So Nyx Weaver looks like the easy choice. I believe rest will go to the graveyard here. There's a little spider that can do everything for a turn. Boom. I think boom shakalaka is what you say. I don't want to steal your lines. Sorry. There's Llanowar Waste. Pass the turn back. Hysen will untap and take a draw step. We always got a Flamewake Phoenix in the graveyard.
Oh, roast in hand. That should do it too.
Roast will make this pretty easy then. You can just kill that annoying little spider if you'd like.
Magic players, we have about 10 minutes remaining to sign up for the standard challenge.
Doesn't have to make this overly complicated, though you do wonder if he's familiar with the interaction.
Just want to give it a good read.
Yep.
Make sure there's nothing going on here.
You know, I'd roast the Wayfinder, let him really know where he stands.
Yeah.
Let him know how dead he is. I got you two ways, man. There's a mountain attack. And that's going to get the job done. Dylan Hysen's going to win this match over James Buckingham. 2-1. Mono Red Devotion will take care of the Abzan Rally deck. Did not really get to see Abzan Rally do its thing, but we got to see Devotion do its thing.
A curve of some big red stuff. Wasn't even very devotion oriented. I think those didn't get activated once, but there's just a